I'm Kush, and I'm here too.
I'm Olivia.
And I'm Megan.
And we are going to be discussing the theme of identity. So, how does your character identify themselves in the beginning of the book, and how does it change? So, in the beginning of my book, my character, Steve Harmon, in Monster, basically in the beginning, it starts off by he calls himself a monster, or that's what others called him. And he begins to start to think that he is one because he's in jail. But it's implying that he did not do any crime, but he's thinking he's a monster just because of what everyone's saying and all of the evidence going against him. And then towards the end of the book, he starts to realize that he's innocent. Yeah. Okay.
With my book, Uglies by Scott Westerfield, Callie, the main character, kind of identifies herself as just ugly, and she wants to be pretty like everyone else in this other new pretty town.
She thinks, I have the same book, she thinks she's worthless because she's not pretty or perfect in appearance, because they go through a surgery to make them perfect, and she thinks that whatever she does is not worth it, and that she should be something she's not.
I read the same book as Theo, which is Monster, and Steve Harmon thinks of himself as not doing anything wrong, but then everybody else says he has done a crime because he looks like everybody else in jail, and he starts to think that he actually did the crime and is just hallucinating.
So how do others influence the theme of identity on your character in your book? So, in my book, everyone's accusing him of being a monster, and that's why he starts thinking that he might be one. And, even his lawyer is very inconfident of him. And they all think that he's, a horrible person. And, yeah.
Okay, and in Uglies, people would, call her names and stuff like ugly and, skinny and, zits and stuff, and then, this one person came along named Shay who kind of changed her world because she was lonely, and she had lost her friend to the, surgery, and so she found a new friend, and it kind of changed her perspective on life.
She, not only did Shay change how she thought about herself, but she went, to go find her friend after she'd run away, and she meets all these other characters who make her realize that she doesn't have to be something she's not, and that she's great the way she is, and they make her feel like she actually belongs to something, and she would give up anything for that.
In Monster, Steve Harmon is accused of doing the crime, but he didn't do it, but his skin color is influencing of the jury's and judge's choice of why he should go to jail, and the trial will end up in the way of the judge and jury, so it might end up bad for Steve Harmon.
So, how does the theme of identity in your book relate to your day-to-day life? So, in my book, in real life, people can, call you things and accuse you of stuff that isn't true, but you just have to, know who you really are as a person and just, stick through with it and not listen to other people.
So, in my book, the day-to-day thing is, a lot of people call themselves ugly, and they just don't, really appreciate what they have and what other people give them because they underestimate things, but they just need to learn that everyone's different and they can be pretty in their own way.
In Uglies, there also is a deeper theme of culture, how the culture we're in affects what we believe about who we are and what we should be. So everyone's told her that what she is isn't correct, and this is what should be, or this is what is, and she hasn't thought about, no one's ever told her otherwise, and so she hasn't thought about, what if it was different?
In in Monster, Steve Harmon is accused of doing something that he didn't do in real life. People get bullied and are accused of things that they actually don't do. But you have to stay strong and hope for the best.
Okay, so that is the end of our books talk today on the theme of identity.